I'm going to show you really quickly how you can add your labels to your pictures and then insert those pictures into the lab reports. So each lab has an experiment, and down below you'll see that there's a lab report. The experiment tells you what to do for each of the lab, gives your instructions, and the lab report is what you're actually going to submit through the portal to turn in for the assignment. So if we look at this lab report, you'll want to download, you want to click on both of these, download the file, and that will open them up. And as you work through each of the steps, it will tell you, you will see, scroll on down, it'll give you instructions to open the Muscle Slide supplemental document. So we go back to the lab archives and you're going to see Muscle Slide supplemental document over here on the left hand side. So click on that. You want to download that. Go ahead and open that up. Now one thing you notice is this is a PDF, and when you right click you don't have the option to copy and paste. So what we're going to need to do is take an entire screenshot of this page, of this screen, and then we're going to put this screenshot into PowerPoint and we're going to crop out everything except for the picture that we want. So I'm going to go back to the Lab Archives page because I need to download the lab report that we want to put it in. So we're going to click on download. That's going to be a Word document. Go ahead and let that open. And once that opens, make sure you click at the top. If this comes up, it says Enable Editing, make sure you click on that. That allows you to insert your picture. And so I'm going to show you quickly how to insert this. So we opened our, let's go back to where our PowerPoint, or excuse me, our supplement was. Okay, so here's this is the picture we wanted to insert. Now you should look on your keyboard and you will have a control key, it says CTRL, and you will have a key that says, it's a print screen. It says PRTSCN is what's on my keyboard, but it's going to look something like that. Now on my laptop, there's a print screen button, but it's blue, and so when I'm going to hold that down, I have to hold down the key it's a function key, and it has an FN. So if your keyboard has an FN in print screen, and if that works to make the screenshot, then use that. Otherwise, the default would be the control and the print screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit control and print screen, and it's not going to really do anything, or it may not flash, it may not let you know that it's actually done anything, but I'm going to go ahead then, I'm going to open up PowerPoint, and I use PowerPoint because I think it's the simplest. It's the easiest way to add your labels. So what I did was I went kind of quickly on that, but I clicked on a new blank presentation, and I just like to change the layout just to make it blank because that's what I'm going to work with. Now then, I need to paste this picture right there on that first slide. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can right click with your mouse and you should see the paste option. It's going to paste that picture. Or you can also hold down Control and the V as in Vicky key. Either way is going to bring up your well, it didn't do it, of course, when I'm trying to do this. So let's try this again. Okay, so this is real life. So if this happens, go back to the muscle, go ahead and do Control, print screen again, go to PowerPoint. There. Okay, you may have to do it a couple of times. So if it doesn't work, there's been a little bit of a lapse between the time you hit Control print screen and when you open up PowerPoint, then just go back to your page and do it again. Okay. So now here we are. What we're going to do is we want to crop out. We really just want this picture here at the top, the one that says skeletal muscle longitudinal section. So we want to crop out everything on this picture except for that that particular slide area. So you go up to the top, you see it says Picture Tools. Then over here you're going to see a button that says crop. So what happens is the picture kind of changes. It looks like it has these brackets around it, and you're going to drag that so that you crop all of the extra page area out except for the one that you have. Now you kind of have to click out of here, and that'll make that go away. And so now from here, let's go back. It should tell me what in the exercise what I needed to label. Let's see. Copy the slide photograph. It says selecting the image and then right clicking. So as you notice, it's a PDF and it would not let you do that. So we want to do that. Control print screen, and then we're going to paste it into PowerPoint. We're going to crop it. Now then it says use a computer program. Here's the computer program that I use. It's called PowerPoint. I think it's the easiest. You can also add these labels in the Word document. So if you wanted to kind of save a step, you could do that. I just think PowerPoint's a lot easier to do. Okay, it says digitally label the nucleus and the major elements of the sarcomere, the myosin and actin. So I need to go back to my presentation, and I want to label the nucleus, and I want to label the actin and myosin. So we're going to go to the Insert menu up at the top. Go to Shapes. There you should see an arrow. Okay, and we're going to point to one of these little nuclei, and usually just kind of stop right at the center of that. Now there's ways you can change. If you can't see that very well, we're going to change. You can go to Shape Outline. You can change the color. So we're going to make it, you can make it red, and you can even, if you click on this little drop down, looks like a triangle pointing down, click on that, go all the way down to Weight, and you can actually make this line thicker if you want, and that way it'll show up better. Okay, so now I've got my first one, and you can move this around if you want. You just move it to where you want it, like that. Just what you do is you just click on one end, and if it has the double arrow like that, it's going to pull it, and you can make it bigger. But you can actually move the whole thing like this, or change it around like that. Okay, and then now we want to add a box, so we're going to insert, go to the Insert menu. Back, we went to Shapes, is where we went to get the arrow. And we're going to insert, in this case, we're going to go over to Text Box. And we're going to drag it, just make a little box, and then you can type directly into that text box. And then once again, you can move that around, kind of line it up. If you want, you can change the font. You can make it bold, whatever you want. Okay. Now then, this is what I usually do, just to save time so I don't have to go through those steps again. I've already got my arrow, so you can do a right click and go copy, and you can go over here and hit paste. Now, it's not going to do it, so that's not where I wanted it, so I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to turn it around like this. Okay. Another way you can do this is just click on it and then go Control C on your keyboard, and then just go Control V, and a Control V is a paste. So Control C is copy and Control V is paste. So that's just a shortcut. So let's say you wanted to use the same arrows, you wanted it all consistent. Alright, and if it's moving too much, let me tell you another trick you can use is you can actually hold the Control key down, and then you can move the arrow button. So you've got arrow keys, so hold Control and arrow up or down, right or left, and that will move that arrow just a tiny bit, because some of these images you're going to need to really focus in on a very small area. So that's one of the easiest ways to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. So I've already got my text box. I'm going to do a Control C. I'm going to do a Control V. I don't want nucleus on there twice, so I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to change this to myosin. Okay. Control V again, that gives me another text box, and then change that to actin. Okay, and so now I've got those labels. So now here's where you want to copy this whole thing. Now there's other ways to do this, but I'm showing you the methods that I know, and if this helps you, great, it will work. So if you already know another method, that is fine. Do Just go ahead and do what you know how to do. But this is just another method that you can use in order to add these labels. So now what I want to do is I want this whole thing to save as one picture, and that way I can copy and paste this whole picture into my document. So what you do is hold down the Control key and A, the letter A. And when you do that, you're going to see that everything selects like it's all active. Okay? We could delete it all if we wanted to, but we don't want to do that. So be careful. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click just anywhere in that, and I'm going to go down to where it says Save as Picture. Click on Save as Picture, and then save it where you want to. I put a lot of things on the desktop. Okay, we're going to make it whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Go ahead and select a JPEG. I think JPEG's a little more condensed, it's a little easier. So you got that, click Save. Now then, you can actually, what I do is, there's other ways to do it, but this is what I do. I go ahead and I pull this up. So there's my picture, and it's got all my labels. And now I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to go back to my lab report, I'm going to right click, I'm going to paste it right there. Now it's too big, it doesn't fit, so what do? We need to shrink that baby. There we go. All you have to do is drag a corner. Now if you drag one side like this, it's going to squish it. You don't want to do that. So kind of keep it normal size. So what you want to do is you drag a corner, and that keeps everything proportional. So if you push a side, it's going to squish it either way. Right? But if you drag the corners, it's just going to resize it proportionately. It's going to look neat. And there you have your labels. So once you're done, you'll save all that. So you've got your first picture. You go ahead and do the same thing for the next picture and the next one, and so on. But that's the way you can insert any picture, and this works for any picture. If you find any picture you want to capture it and you need it and it's in an odd format and you can't figure out how to copy and paste it, you can always use the Control and Print Screen function and then put it into PowerPoint and cut it out. So that is it. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will be glad to help you. Thanks.